we are finally going to Tokyo to go thrifting and obviously other stuff like eating and sightseeing and all of the things, but personally I am the most excited to go thrifting and vintage shopping, I have to be honest. Like, this has been my dream destination for a very long time. And all that's left that's standing in between us and Tokyo right now is a 12-hour flight, which we need to get on. It is currently 10:58 in the morning and our flight's at 1, so we gotta go. Let's go. Bye, Moch. Sorry, Moch, you can't come to Tokyo. Technically, this is our second day because we got here yesterday after our 13-hour flight and immediately passed out. So this is our first actual day of doing stuff. This is also my first time in Japan ever, but I've done a lot of research I can show you. I mostly did it on Google Maps, and all of these pins here, you see all those? Those are all of my saved pins for this trip. I'll link this down below. I can share the list, I think, and then you'll see all of the things that I have saved. And from my understanding, there are a few categories when it comes to vintage shopping here. The first one being thrift chains, so places with a lot of locations. The main ones I saw are Book Off, Ragtag, Second Street, Treasure Factory, Brand Collect. These are usually big stores with locations all over the place, and I have them all saved in my maps list. But yeah, for another category, there are the more bougie kind of vintage designer places with the designer bags and things like that. There are also your standalone thrift stores, like the mom and pop places. I have a lot of those saved. And last but not least, there are the flea markets. The main one I really want to go to, I think we'll go on Saturday, is the Tokyo City Flea Market. That's the huge one. We're gonna get to everything. We're gonna shop, we're gonna eat, we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We have 10 days here. I don't know if I said that, so we have a lot of time. The only thing is, we are a little jet lagged right now. I want to check the time in Toronto right now. Yeah, it's currently 9:10 at night there, and it's 10:10 in the morning here. So we're a little messed up, but we're not gonna think about it. I think we're gonna go get a coffee. Okay, first coffee of the trip. We just went to Northern Wood in Ginza. The coffee's really good, and Jack got a matcha. And we're actually staying in Ginza, and there's a lot of vintage stores in this area, so I think we're gonna go shopping. This is gonna be our first location of the day, this Ragtag. Okay, not gonna lie, as soon as I walked in here, I was kind of thinking I might have made a mistake because it just looked very fancy and expensive, but I was very wrong because they had an entire range of things. Like, they had everything from Zara to Chanel. Like, I found this very nice skirt, which I'm about to try on, and it was on sale for $15.
Okay, I'm trying this one polka dot skirt on that I found. Let's see if it fits.
I actually really like it, but I think it's a bit small. Then after seeing this map of all the floors, it made more sense to me. Everything kind of came together. It basically gets more luxurious as you make your way up. But yeah, even on the higher floors, you could still get a deal. I was looking at the prices on everything because there were some steals. Like, those Miu Miu ballet flats were under $150, which I think is pretty reasonable. They weren't my size, so it didn't end up mattering anyway. They were too small, but that gorgeous Dior dress, that was $900, I think. So like I said, it's a range, okay? It's a range. But anyway, just you wait, because I searched this entire floor and I found this stunning Pucci shirt for $50. And I just love Pucci in general. I love all of their patterns and everything, but the colorway of this, like all of the blues, I was over the moon. So happy. And I also found this Chloe skirt, which was $40, which honestly is another steal for the quality of this item. Like, this is something that I would have for life. I love the flowers. I wasn't sure about the color. Anyway, I'll show you what I actually ended up getting later because I continued our hunt. I found these Prada shoes, and these might be a little divisive, okay? I'm aware. I remember I thrifted a Dior cardigan in this exact colorway, and I got a lot of comments saying that it was a pee pee poo poo colorway. So I'm kind of prepared for those comments again, but I love them. They were $100 for brand new Prada shoes. They were a little big though, so I was a little tentative, but like I said, haul later. We left, we went to dinner at this udon place, which was amazing. My first udon gone in Japan, my first tempura in Japan. And yeah, it was kind of life-changing, but then this happened.
I got freaking udon broth on my dress.
It's okay though, we'll do a little spray and wash when we get home, but we did end up in Shinjuku for the night, which was not my favorite area, I have to say. I guess it's kind of a must-see with the Godzilla head and everything, but just a lot of inebriated tourists, a lot of chaos. But we got a good strawberry tangulu, and on to day 2.
So we are now on to day 2 in Japan. I didn't really get much thrifting done yesterday. We were kind of just getting adjusted to things. But yeah, we're in Shibuya today, specifically Daikanyama / Nakameguro area. And we're definitely going to do more shopping. We also had amazing souffle type pancakes, like the really thick ones this morning. It was so good. That was in Ginza at a place called Cafe Henan, and they made the pancakes in front of us. I was really looking forward to them, and they exceeded my expectations, I have to say. We also had a pizza lunch at Pizza Marumo, and I think, I'm not exaggerating, that has to be the best pizza of my life. I highly recommend. I'll insert the footage from there as well. But yeah, I think we're on to some thrifting now. Like I said, we haven't really done much shopping. I did get this hat though. Let me know what you think. I'm really liking it. It was from Stussy. And I think that's all for our update. So let's see what we do next.
All right, first up of the day was this 2nd Street location, which is a similar chain to Ragtag. I do have to say that after experiencing all of the chains, I think 2nd Street is my least favorite. Definitely still worth checking out, don't get me wrong, but I just found the pricing the worst out of all of them. Like, okay, these Gucci heels, these were kind of beat up. They were $200, whereas the Prada ones that I found at Ragtag were half the price, and they were brand new. But I still found some good things here, and I like how everything was sorted. It was kind of sorted by occasion, so casual section, formal section, they had a designer section. They did not have air conditioning though. That's something that I cannot forget to mention. If you are planning to go to Tokyo or Japan in general for thrifting, or that's one of the main things that you want to do, I would suggest going in a colder month, because this is something that I encountered often and I was sweating, unfortunately. But anyway, I was trying on the skirt. It was very cute. It was 25 bucks from a brand called Allureville. Oh yeah, this dress, I thought this would be a really pretty cover up for summer, like over top of bikini. And lastly, I love this top with the little bows, and this was around 10 bucks only.
Jet's waiting on us, and I think he's very over it. Your thoughts? So what has been your favorite part of Japan so far? The thrifting?
Just like walking around, probably.
So not thrifting?
Well, no, I feel like everyone's pretty small here. Like everything is always too small, so.
Oh yeah, that's something I forgot to mention, because every time I go in a store, Jet looks for 2 seconds. They usually have a men's section, but yeah, nothing's fitting him because he's 6'4". He's usually an extra large. Yeah, anyway, we're hoping our luck picks up a little bit.
And pick up it did, because right after this, we randomly stumbled across this vintage store called Slow. And you know when a store just gets you? Like the more that you look around, the more that you find things that are very much your style. That was what was happening here. Like, I just loved this store. I love their curation. It definitely was on the pricier side, but still nothing too crazy. These glasses, for example, these were vintage Dior, and they were still under 100 bucks. And yeah.
I'm just in the fitting room now. I'm gonna try on the Stussy tee that Jet found for me. It's so cute. And also this little tank over here. So let's see how it looks. Okay, I'm kind of loving this. I love the neckline. I didn't realize the asymmetry of it when I first picked it up, but I love the lace detailing, and I think it's only 30 US, somewhere around there. This would be really cute under a cardigan or a jacket or something. Wait, I'm liking the Stussy tee too. It's kind of like a relaxed fit. It would be more just a casual shirt. It is more expensive though. It's around 70 US. Not sure why. Maybe it's some kind of rare shirt. This is a maybe. It might be worth it. It might just be worth 70 bucks. Okay, we just randomly went into that vintage store. It was called Slow. Highly recommend. I'm kind of starting to realize that the little mom and pop vintage stores and thrift stores might be better than the chains that we always see on TikTok all the time. I'm reserving my full judgment until we have a little more experience, but we'll see. But yeah, the girls in there were so nice and so helpful. I gave them my YouTube channel because I asked them if I could film, and they were so cool about it. And then they asked me if I was a YouTuber, and then they asked me for my channel, and then they subscribed. So shout out to them. Very cute store. Okay, we're headed to a different part of Shibuya now. We're going Harajuku area, which I'm very excited about. You hear a lot about it all the time. I grew up in the Harajuku girls Gwen Stefani era, so that's where my mind goes, especially the perfumes. I don't know if anyone remembers those, but... Are you imitating me?
Okay, anyway, moving on. Harajuku was actually exactly how I was expecting it to be. A lot of young people everywhere, a lot of people in very interesting, cool outfits. Also a lot of vintage stores with kind of a Y2K 90s vibe. This one in particular was called Love You to the Moon, and it had a lot of amazing things. Jet tried on this hat, which I really liked on him. But yeah, they had Juicy Couture, Y2K brands, a lot of Hysteric Glamour actually, which is a Japanese brand that I love. And Jet actually ended up getting something from here. He got this Stussy tee, which was just so cute. He doesn't really shop for clothes often, so I love it when he actually finds things. But next up, I also ended up going to this other vintage shop called Bow City, which was very much Y2K. Very, very good store if that is your style. I did, however, kind of realize that it's not really my style. I wasn't really finding much, but regardless, I like looking at all the pretty things, so I'm glad we went. And lastly, at the end of the day, we went to the store nearby in Shibuya called Chicago, which was recommended to us by a friend. And oh my gosh, please come here. If you love vintage, you need to come here, trust me. This is a massive store with a lot of stuff for both men and women too, and the pricing was really good. I was seeing a lot of $10 items, $15 items, and I was also kind of realizing a lot about the stores here.
Jet and I keep noticing that at all the vintage stores, even though everything is super old, everything is in such good condition that sometimes it doesn't even look vintage. I feel like in America and in Canada, distressing is kind of desirable in a way, but here not at all. Like, you don't really see anything that's distressed, and if it is, the pricing is really good because it's just not attractive. You have something to say? Stop that. Okay, see, this exactly proves my point, because you can tell just by the design that the shirt is really old, obviously, but the condition is so good. Like, there are no loose threads, there's no distressing. It kind of looks new, but you know it's old just because of the style. They have a lot of American stuff. I'm realizing that a lot of the vintage stores in Japan specialize in American things because, you know, that's kind of interesting here and harder to get, but they also have Japanese stuff here. Like, they have vintage Japanese denim. I think I'm gonna look through this rack. Look, they have an entire room for vintage kimonos.
So even though I was not really in the market for a vintage kimono, I think I spent half an hour in this part of the store alone. They were just so beautiful and I loved looking at all of them. I also kind of wanted to find the one that I thought was prettiest for some reason, which ended up being this one with all of the stars. It was stunning. Yeah, then I tried some things on. This cardigan was right up my alley. I thought I was gonna love it, but it was screaming grandma to me when I put it on for some reason. This pink top, which I loved in theory, but it just was not a flattering fit in my opinion. And then this pleated polka dot skirt, which I was very on the fence about, but let me know what you think. Okay, I think it is about time that we had an update. I'm currently drinking what I think is my third matcha of the day. This one is from the Cloud Club in Ginza. So good. Oh, but okay, let's go over our haul so far, shall we? So the first thing that we picked up was this Poochie shirt from Ragtag. I still cannot believe I found this for the price that it was. I think it was around 50 US. I have not seen anything like this in Toronto for under $200. Like, I will never be over this. And then I got this Stussy shirt from that vintage shop that we went to called Slow. And this one, she was a little pricier, but I kind of went for it. We're in Japan. That's what I keep telling myself to justify buying things, which is a little dangerous, but I'm not sorry. And I also got this gorgeous bag from the same store. I actually saw this as soon as I walked in and I just had to have it. It looks like this on the shoulder. It's kind of like an elevated tote bag, and I just know that I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it. I didn't get anything at that vintage store called Chicago, but it was such a great store. Jet ended up getting this Columbia tee. He's actually not here right now. He's getting ramen, so let's take this opportunity to try on his shirt. Wait, this is actually really cute. I even like it with the long sleeve layered under. Oh, super dusty though. This is gonna give me allergies. Okay, get this off me. So those are all of our vintage pickups. I will say we have experienced more kind of like curated vintage stores than thrift stores so far, which I'm not at all mad about. The vintage stores have been amazing and they're usually independently run, so you get to meet the owners, and the owners are always so sweet. But we will get to more thrift stores. We're gonna get to our flea market experience. I want to experience it all, the whole range of pricing and experiences. Should I show you all the souvenirs that I've gotten? Okay, let's do a quick fire souvenir haul. And please do not judge, because some of these things are gonna be gifts. Okay, I got this Yoshitomo Nara book, some matcha and a matcha whisk, Hello Kitty ceramic bowl. I think I'm gonna use this for my matcha. Some bag charms, obviously. Yoshitomo Nara pins, pimple patches, can make press powder. This stuff is so good. Madomage much hair slick because I've heard good things. And last but not least, some And Honey shampoo and their And Honey hair oil. This I have used before, and you have to get this if you're in Japan. And that's everything. I think I went a little crazy so far. I've been loving Tokyo. It's been a long time since I experienced a new culture for the first time, and there's just nothing like that feeling. Like, even with the style here and the things that are available at secondhand stores, I'm learning a lot about Japanese style, and one of the things I've noticed is it's definitely more conservative. A lot of looser clothing items, a lot of higher necklines. I feel like when I go to a thrift store in Toronto, all I see are tank tops and crop tops, and I see none of that here. But yeah, we have a lot more to see. I have been trying to vlog literally everything. If I'm not vlogging on here, I am vlogging for TikTok and Instagram, so if you're interested in any of that, definitely follow me on there. I've kind of been forgetting to show you guys my outfits, so those will be on Instagram too, but I think I will see you tomorrow.